Hello, it's Rashida, and today I am working on a page in my May 2015 project Life. I'm using a Design A Becky Higgins page protector, and I think I've been using the Design A the past few times just because it's easier. You just place the 3x4s in and the 4x6s, and you're good to go. So my photos are printed from my Canon Selfie, and I use the PicFrame app for Android because my cell phone is an Android. And the cards that I'm using are from various Studio Calico Project Life kits. And I'm using some rub-ons by Amy Tangerine, and this one does not completely adhere, but I go ahead and use it. And I tried using various rub-on tools. I use this basic gray rub-on tool. I think I use a Martha Stewart stylus tool, and it still did not completely rub on. And ironically, I was watching a video by Amy Tan, and she had the same issue, I think, with one of the rub-ons in the same pack of rub-ons that I'm using. So anyway, I'm using these Alpha rub-ons by Studio Calico, and they came in a Studio Calico kit probably last year. So these are really nice because they adhere very well. It's like almost as if you don't even have to use the little rub-on tool. It's almost like you can just place them down and they stick, which is another reason why I had to be careful because they're so sticky. So I did end up sort of cutting down at least to the line that I needed to select the Alpha. Now I'm using these Maggie Holmes rub-ons, and I'm just using this one to sort of accentuate the line that's down the middle of this card. It says less more. Since there was already a line, I just wanted to cover it up with this particular rub-on because it was linear as well. And now I'm going to use a Studio Calico Project Life card as an embellishment, and I'm sure you've seen this quite a bit. It's just basically a matter of cutting down 3x4 card and using, or whatever card that you have, and using whatever part you want as the embellishment. So this particular one has like a scripted handwriting, which I really like, and I wanted to use this for this photo of my dad because it says, "Thanks Dad, I turned out awesome." So I used my corner rounder just to make it look like a label and adhered it to the photo. And on this photo I'm going to cut down the background. I wanted the focus to be on our shopping cart because we were at Sam's, my mom and I, and there were a lot of other carts and racks and other things in the background, so I just cut out the distracting part and just had the focus be on the part of the photo that I wanted. And this watercolor card is from Studio Calico also. I think it came in one of their add-on kits maybe. So I wanted to document that my mom upgraded to the new iPhone 6 Plus, and so I'm just getting those photos down, and I'm going to use this Polaroid frame. I think it's by Maggie Holmes, and just to put that around her since that was the focus. And I started using this permanent runner, and I switched adhesives because the permanent runner was sticking a little bit too much to the back of the frame, and so I didn't want to take the risk of messing up the Polaroid frame itself. So I switched to the dot adhesive runner and got that down. And I thought about using some more of the Studio Calico Alpha rub-ons, but I decided against it. And so I'm moving on to this 4x6 filler card, and I'm going to end up using a floral rub-on from this Maggie Holmes set just to add a little bit of extra embellishment to this card. I mean, it would be fine just as a plain 4x6, but I typically like to add at least a little something to my filler cards. And I don't have any issues with these rub-ons at all. And I think I'm looking through to see if there's anything else. Oh yes. So I'm going to use this happy rub-on, and one of the Y's didn't totally adhere down, but I'm going to go back and fix that later with a Sharpie. And I think that was just user error because I think I put it down and lifted it up. So I decided to use this 3x4 card to separate the two rub-ons on the 4x6 card on the right. In this particular 4x6 card, I thought the two rub-ons were a little bit graphic to be side by side together, even in different pockets. So this card that says "This is Bliss," I thought that would be great as a journaling spot, and also to separate the graphic nature of those rub-ons. So now I'm doing some stamping. I'm using some of the stamps that I showed in a previous haul, and this one's by Carta Bella, and it just says "Here" with the little arrow pointing down to the photo. And now I'm using this October Afternoon Summertime stamp set, and I'm going to use the clouds, and I'm using my Ranger dye ink in black because that's one of my favorite inks these days. And that's how that turned out. So now I'm going to slow it down and show you on this particular stamp by Scraptastic. For whatever reason, the photopolymer did not cut all the way through between the two stamps during the manufacturing process. So I'm just going to take the smallest pair of scissors that I have, which are these little Martha Stewart scissors, and I'm just going to snip the extra photopolymer, and then the stamp will be good to go. So if you can see that, so I'm just showing you there. I'm just going to snip that, and so it's good to go. And this is a solid stamp, so I wanted to make sure that I inked it up really good to give a good impression. So now I'm using this Kelly Purkey Shutterbug stamp from her June kit, and I'm just going to use the stamp that says photograph, and I'm going to stamp it on that yes no card. And I typically do like to add some stamping or some type of embellishment to my 3x4 cards. Even if I use a larger photo on the 3x4 card, I typically like to do some type of embellishment. And stamping, of course, is like my favorite thing to do. So speaking of stamping, now I'm going to use my Amy Tangerine roller date stamp, and I'm just going to sort of messy stamp the date for this particular card. As you can see, I did some journaling off camera. So, and I think the last thing I'm going to do here is add these KI Memories metal accents, and I really like these. I picked these up a couple of months ago. So just kind of using the rule of threes and just adding 3 of the metal accents to the cards. And I'm going to add 1 to the top 4x6 card, and I'm going to place it where if you can see that geotag paper clip. I thought about putting it on the rub-on, then I decided not to, and then I ended up putting it there. So that's it. I'm going to show you the front side of the layout, and then there will be some photos at the end. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, just leave them below.
You could thank me now. Go ahead. Thank me later, yeah, I know what I said. But later doesn't always come, so instead, it's okay, you could thank me now.